Hello and welcome to the United Man. This is the Burnley versus Manchester United preview.
The mic, making sure production's tight.
I'm hopeful. I'm very, very hopeful at this point. I wouldn't say in terms of necessarily winning the league, but I'd prefer us to be in this position with everything in our own hands. We're scoring goals. We've got a deep squad this season in terms of, well, we've got rotational pieces, i.e. Van der Beek, Juan Mata. Obviously, Dan James not really functioned this season in terms of being in and out the rotation, but we've still got lots of Cavani, Greenwood. We've got a few players that can make an impact, basically. And at this point in time, I prefer to be in this position than not. We are in somewhat of a precarious situation. The reason why I say that is because I know everything's in our hands, but I've just got this unerring feeling not to trust Manchester United as of yet. We've not shown the consistency to really trust what we're doing at the moment. This was kind of falling into our lap, so to speak, with Liverpool dropping a lot of points, City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, Leicester. So we've kind of fallen into this one with our sort of stumbling form of consistency somewhat. As I've mentioned before, and it's been the case for some time now, statistically speaking, we are the form team in the Premier League, but we're not playing the best football. I think that kind of shown when we was playing the semi-final against Manchester City, and their best versus our best was levels apart. Now, I know we only lost by 2-0, but we didn't really create a ton of opportunities. We certainly didn't dominate in the possession department. So for me, that was not like a wake-up call per se, but to show everyone, look, we're not the force that we, not necessarily that we think we are, but we're not near sort of that level of Manchester City and Liverpool when they're at their best. We're just not yet. We've still got a ways to go. And I think most Manchester United fans will accept that. Now, that being said, we are, again, as mentioned before, we've got a pretty strong squad. So we've got a few to choose from. I've gone with what I believe Ollie will select, the formation and also the personnel. I've gone with David De Gea in goal, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw filling in at the wing-back spots. I think because Tedder's played the other night, he won't start him. I believe he'll go with Eric Bailly and Maguire. Bailly penned in late fitness test, I think it was. He was brought off precautionary against Watford, but that's where I feel like, Eric Bailly, you can see the difference between Lindelof and himself. He's levels above him. I still feel like we should be using Axel Tuanzebe as well. So if Bailly's not playing, start Axel Tuanzebe. I know he's not going to drop Maguire, so it's pointless me speaking about it. Even though it was intriguing to see Tuanzebe and Bailly line up alongside each other. Making up the rest of the starting 11, I believe he'll go with Fred as he started McTominay in the last game, and I believe he'll go with Pogba and Bruno in making up the rest of the central midfield. In the wide positions, I think he'll go with Rashford off the left-hand side and Mason Greenwood off the right and Anthony Martial down the middle. Now, that being said, I know that's quite a substantial number of changes, but I believe he will go with what he feels is his strongest team, minus maybe McTominay, Matic, or Fred vying for the same position. But as I mentioned before, because McTominay played, I think he will start with Fred for that dynamism and that sort of like dogged determination. Even though his on-ball quality isn't the best, but against Burnley, I feel like we'll be able to get away with it realistically. So, I don't mind Fred starting that game, but I've been campaigning to see Axel Tuanzebe starting in that CDM position, just being an anchor man. Doesn't have to do anything else, bar sit in between the two centre-backs and the screen, laterally, left and right, protecting the two centre-backs at all time and filling in when needs be. So I'd like to see that happen. I don't think that's on the cards because he clearly has too much respect or has a high opinion for Matic, Fred and McTominay to put someone else in their position that's not his favourite or strongest position necessarily. As you would have seen though on the graphic, I believe he'll line up as a 4-2-3-1 against Burnley. We're away from home. I feel like we should really be taking the game to Burnley, and I feel like this is an opportunity to go with a 4-3-3, and that's what I would have personally gone with Matic in a holding role where he can just sit and that's it, stay in that role. Positionally, he's better than anything else we've got at the club. But athletically, in terms of getting around the pitch, making tackles, intercepting plays, he's not really what he used to be. So that's why I would, like I said, campaign for Tuanzebe. It's not going to happen, but I would try and press for 4-3-3 on this one. Or even go with a diamond and start Fred, Bruno, and Van der Beek and Matic, and have Greenwood and Rashford up top. But again, doubt he'll go with that. But for me, this is the type of game where we really need to start our players that can break down defences in terms of both individual manoeuvres, passing ability, creativity, and movement. This is the type of game where you're likely going to get the bars parked in front of their goal. So for me, I'll be looking to start the full repertoire of my creative players together. But again, I doubt Ollie will. I think he'll go with the 4-2-3-1. Now, not that I'm looking over Burnley by any means, because I wouldn't be as foolish to do such a thing. However, if we put ourselves in a good position against Burnley and for whatever reason Liverpool decide to drop some more points again, that puts us in a very, very strong position against Liverpool when we come up against them. And I'd love to go into that game with a 3-point lead or something like that. Anything would be better. But like I said, we've got the game in hand against Liverpool, so we could be in a very, very strong position. I didn't imagine we'd be here, after the Christmas period, talking about, just losing out in another semi-final. It's in the FA Cup, obviously, after beating Watford, but we're joint on top with the game in hand. And that game after Burnley is against Liverpool, who are top of the league on goal difference. So for me, we have to count our blessings in this situation, because we could be in a lot worse precarious situation with regards to the Premier League compared to where we were this time last season, just before Bruno came in, I believe. So, we're doing well. We're scoring goals because, again, compared to this time last season, we're struggling to score goals. However, on the flip side, we weren't conceding as many. But this time last season, I think they had some right howlers. So, we're in a much better position, as Ollie had stated, than we were, a year ago, 18 months ago, so to speak. So, there's progression. You can see the progression and some of the transfer manoeuvres that we've made as a club. It's good to see, but by no way am I getting carried away. It's kind of a watch this space in this moment in time, and I believe there's points that will drop, silly points. I really do, and I hate saying it because I really don't want it to be true, but I feel like we will drop points, silly points along the way. You can afford to maybe get a draw against your Spurs or your Liverpools or teams like that, but you can't afford to be drawing against teams like your Burnleys, with all due respect to Burnley. We need to be beating these teams, and we need to be beating these teams significantly, not just getting a 1-0 win like we did against Watford. That team that we put out against Watford, I would say, yeah, good enough all day long for a 3-0 or 4-0. We shouldn't be conceding against them, not that we did, but these are expectations that we should be setting now for our club and for the players that are going onto the pitch. We're rotating 8 or 9 players each time when we're going into these cup competitions. We've got the Europa League starting up again next month, and I believe we've got the squad that can handle it. Realistically, in terms of, again, the numbers, in terms of the quality and depth, I feel like we're in a good position. That being said, we've got to go and do it. Much appreciated for you guys joining me. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you're not and you're returning, thank you very much. Leave your comments, let me know what you think. Don't forget to share as well, because it'll literally bump up the channel no end. And don't forget to like, and I shall see you in the next one. Take care.